Good morning, students. So it is a new chapter today, genetic code, mutation and translation. And you can say slowly after DNA and RNA, we are entering into molecular biology. Okay, genetic engineering, we are entering slowly. So today I will be dealing with genetic code, mutation and translation. Translation, you all know, it is the biosynthesis of protein. Which protein? Which is coming in the form of codes from DNA to the through the RNA and reaching to ribosomes. Okay, and genetic codes are there on the DNA molecule, and they are copying in the form of codons on the messenger RNA, and messenger RNA is bringing them to ribosome for the biosynthesis of new proteins. So slowly we will be reaching there. I am starting. First of all, learning objectives, what we will be covering in this lecture and subsequent lectures on translation and mutation. Describe genetic code and Waddell hypothesis. It is important, Waddell hypothesis. Describe various types of mutations and examples. Describe the mechanism of translation, folding and processing of proteins, role of chaperones in protein folding. Describe post-translational modifications. Describe inhibitors of translation and their clinical importance in medicine. Describe protein targeting and sorting along with its associated disorders. Okay, so these are all your objectives, what we will be covering in this chapter. Come to the genetic code. What is genetic code? The information needed to direct the synthesis of proteins is contained in the messenger RNA in the form of genetic code. I repeat it, the information needed to direct the synthesis of a protein or a particular protein is contained in the messenger RNA in the form of genetic code. Okay, though message is from the DNA, okay, and when messenger RNA is transcribed to, sorry, this DNA, one of the strands is transcribed to messenger RNA, this genetic code is coming, this information is coming in the messenger RNA in the form of genetic code, right? So it is a triplet of 3 nucleotides which is known as the genetic code. Later on I will be telling you. The genetic code is the system of nucleotide sequences of messenger RNA that determine the sequence of amino acid in protein. It means messenger RNA is having many genetic codes, and these codes are coding for a specific amino acid, right? Suppose a code is there which is for methionine, so methionine will be added in the protein chain. The second is for the valine, then valine will come. The threonine will come. Again a valine will come, like that. This information is there in the messenger RNA in the form of nucleotide sequences. The genetic code is the system of nucleotide sequence of messenger RNA that determine the sequence of amino acid in the proteins. Codons are a group of 3 adjacent bases. 3 adjacent bases that specify the amino acid of protein. Codons are a group of 3 adjacent bases that specify the amino acid of proteins. So you should having a clear-cut picture in your mind that DNA is having the information. This information is passed by transcription to messenger RNA that this protein is to be synthesized. This messenger RNA is having a particular system of different nucleotides, you know, a full A, U, 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 A, G, G, C, C, like that, a sequence is there. But it is not the hypothetical sequence. It is not the arbitrary sequence. Actually, they are codons and they are in the form of three adjacent bases: UAA, CCU, UGC, CCU. Like that, they are the codons on the messenger RNA. So you can now very well understand that it is not a vague thing that DNA is having a particular sequence and then we are having the messenger RNA bringing that sequence. No, DNA is having a message that this protein has to be synthesized. This messenger RNA is bringing the message, and on messenger RNA, the codons are fitted in such a sequence that it will form the desired protein. Later on, I will be explaining you slowly and slowly. You see, it is dictionary of amino acid codes. Genetic codes are there, and it is the dictionary. You see, it is the second letter of codons, UCAG. UCAG, it is the second letter of codon. It is the third letter of codon. It is the first letter of codon. Okay, and it is genetic dictionary. You see, U. So all four U. Okay. U. It is the second codon. First letter of codon. U. Then CU. CU first. So C. A. G. Then second letter is U. Second letter of codon U. You will find all U's here. And then third letter U. UC, UA, UG. Right? So all together we are having these 64 codons. Okay? Here UAA, UAG and UGA, they are nonsense codons. What does it mean? They are not coding for any amino acid. UAA, UGA, UGA and UAG. They are non-nonsense codons. And AUG is the initiating codon, methionine. It is the initiating codon. You will find some of the amino acids are having only one codon. Some are having 2 codons. Some are having 3 codons, 4 codons, 5 codons, and even 6 codons. So, because you know that there are only 20 amino acids and there are 61 codons. So, it is very obvious that few are having more than one codons, right? So, here is a discussion. There are 64 possible codon sequence. 3 of 64 codons we are having UA, UAG and UGA do not code for any amino acids and they are called nonsense codons. Right? They are called nonsense codons, means they are not coding any amino acid. And these nonsense codons are arbitrarily named Umber, Ocker and Opal. Okay? UA, UAG and UGA. You should remember this. UAA, UAG and UGA, they are nonsense codons. So out of 64, 3 are there, nonsense codons. Remaining are 61. And these 61 are for 20 amino acids. There are 21 codons for 20 amino acids. One amino acid has more than one codon, and the codon is referred to as degenerative, degenerate. Although an amino acid may have more than one codon, each codon specifies only one amino acid. Thus, the genetic code is unambiguous. Right? There are 61 codons for 20 amino acids. Methionine is having only one codon, AUG. Tryptophan, one codon. Arsenine, 2 codons. Asparagine, 2 codons. Cysteine, 2 codon. Glutamine, 2 codon. Glutamic acid, 2 codon. Histidine, 2 codons. Lysine, 2 codon. Phenylalanine, 2 codons. Tyrosine, 2 codons. Isoleucine, 3 codons. Alanine, 4 codons. Glycine, 4 codons. Proline, 4 codons. Threonine, 4 codons. Valine, 4 codons. Arginine, 6 codons. Leucine, 6 codons. And serine, 6 codons. So we are having a system that 61 codons for 20 amino acids, and only 2 amino acids are having only one codon. They are methionine and tryptophan. Otherwise, rest of 18 are having 2 or more than 2 and maximum 6 codons for their as a message. Codons that designate the same amino acids are called synonyms. Okay, so synonyms. What 2 amino acids, methionine and tryptophan, have only one codon, AUG and UGC. I told you in the methionine and tryptophan are having only one codon. So they are AUG for methionine and tryptophan UGC. Tryptophan have only one codon. The amino acids have multiple codons. Example, arginine is specified by six different codons. And why arginine? Only arginine. There are leucine and serine. They are also having 6 codons. Okay, but anyhow, it is a statement that 2 amino acids, methionine and tryptophan, have only one codon. The remaining amino acids have multiple codons. Example, arginine is specified 6 different codons. But in mitochondria, exceptions to the universality of the genetic code are found in human mitochondria. In human mitochondria, UGA is the stop codon. UGA is a stop codon in the messenger RNA generally. But in mitochondria, this UGA is for tryptophan and it is not the stop codon in mitochondria. Okay, AUA, which is the code for the methionine, okay, instead of isoleucine. And CUA codes for the threonine instead of leucine in the mitochondria. Right? So UGA is the stop codon, but it is tryptophan here. AUA for the isoleucine, but it is methionine in mitochondria. And CUA is a codon for leucine, but it is threonine in mitochondria. You take a note of this. Okay. So methionine, sorry, in mitochondria, we are having a different system of codons. These codes are non-overlapping and without any punctuation. They are continuous. How? During translation, code is read sequentially without spacer basis. Take 3 at a time. Example, AUG, CUA, GA, CUUU. It is a continuous sequence. But if we divide them in triplets, they will become the codons. AUG, CUA, GAC, UUU. They are the codons. Now come to the Wobble hypothesis. What the Wobble is telling us. The third base of most codons. The third base of most codon pairs rather loosely with the corresponding base of its anticodon. Right? You understand very well that messenger RNA is having the codons, right? Then the transfer RNA is bearing the amino acid and anticodon of the same amino acid which is having a codon in the messenger RNA. So there is a pairing of codon anticodon, codon anticodon. How? A will combine with U will combine with A, G will combine with C will combine with G. Like that, we are having a system of codon anticodon pairing. So what Wobble is telling us, the third base of most codons pair rather loosely with the corresponding base of its anticodon. And the third base of such codons and the first base of their corresponding anticodon wobbles. Wobbles means Crick proposed an assumption to explain this data on the basis of set of 4 relationships called the Wobble hypothesis. I will explain you how. The first 2 bases of messenger RNA codon always form strong Watson-Crick base pairs with the corresponding bases of the transfer RNA anticodon and confer most of the coding specificity. The first base of the anticodon determines the number of codons recognized by the transfer RNA. It is codon-anticodon pairing. When the first base of the anticodon is C or A, base pairing is specific and only one codon is recognized by the transfer RNA. Okay, there is no base cognition. When the first base of the anticodon is, say, anticodon, first base of anticodon is C or A, because C will combine with the G and A will combine with the U. So when the first base of the anticodon is C or A, base pairing is specific and only one codon is recognized by the transfer RNA. But when the first base is U or G, binding is less specific and 2 different codons may be read. When the first base is U or G, binding is less specific and 2 specific different codons may be read, because U may combine with the A and G will combine with the C. It is the Watson-Crick base pairing. But in addition to this, they may combine a different codon. How? When inosine is the first nucleotide. Inosine is the first nucleotide of an anticodon. 3 different codons may be read. So it is Wobble hypothesis, right? More specifically, when an amino acid is specified by several different codons, the codons that differ in either of the first 2 bases require different transfer RNAs. A minimum of 32 transfer RNAs are required to translate all 61 codons, 31 to encode the amino acid and 1 for the initiation. Okay, so what I told in the Wobble hypothesis, the third base in the anticodon, or the third base in the codon and the first base in the anticodon may behave, and it may not be so firmly attached that as per the Watson base pairing, that is Wobble base. And when inosine is the first base, it is known as the Wobble base, and it is anticodons are 3 different codons can be recognized. When U or G is the first codon in the anticodon, then you may find a regular codon or and a Wobble codon also. It is the Wobble hypothesis. Okay. You see this transfer RNA. This AUC is the codon. then A will combine with the U will combine with the A, and C will combine with the G. It is anticodon 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, and it is normal codon anticodon relationship, anticodon codon anticodon base pairing, right? So it is a codon here, anticodon here of what? Of amino acid, which is where on the 5' side, CCA. CCA, so it is the amino acid binding site. So this transfer RNA is bringing the amino acid and anticodon and will fix codon anticodon, will place the amino acid here and will depart. Later on in the protein synthesis, I will be explaining you how, but you should having an impression that in messenger RNA, codons are there. On the transfer RNA, anticodon is there, and here on the 5' side of the transfer RNA, you are having a amino acid binding. Okay, so it is codon GCA, CGA. Then C will combine with the G, base Watson-Crick base pairing. G will combine with C, Watson-Crick base pairing. But when it is A and it is inosine here, so inosine may combine loosely to A, to U, and to C. So we are having 3 codons: GC, CGA, CGU, and CGC. If the anticodon is having inosine at the first position and it is a wobble pairing. Okay, it is wobble pairing. Normal pairing is CG, GC. They are normal pairing, and AU is the normal pairing. Okay, but it is IA, it is IU, IC. They all are the wobble base pairing. And so you can say when this is anticodon, it may read a 3 different codons. Come to the mutations. I explained you the codon-anticodon relationship and the codon-anticodon dictionary, everything I explained you, and how a amino acid is having 1 codon, how a amino acid is having more than 1 codon, I explained you. Now come to the mutation. What is mutation? Mutation results when changes occur in the nucleotide sequence of DNA. Mutation results when changes occur in the nucleotide sequence of DNA. The term mutation refers to a permanent change in the DNA sequence. Okay, and because of the mutation, you may find altogether a no protein or a defective protein, which is not needed protein, or a non-requiring protein after the biosynthesis if it is a serious mutation. The mutation refers to the permanent change in the DNA sequence. Mutation in germ cells are transmitted to the next progeny and may give rise to the inherited diseases. One student wrote in the message and asked me, sir, when this RNA polymerase or some enzyme is not having any proofreading, then how the mutation, more mutations are possible? See, I told you that DNA polymerase is a smart enzyme, and if some mistake is there, then it is going back, removing the incorrect one, placing the correct nucleotide, and correcting its mistake. But some enzymes are not smart, and if they are committing a mistake, that mistake is incorporated in the DNA. Right? At the place of C, they are putting A. At the place of G, they are putting A, C, like that. So that is not repaired. If such type of a mistake is there, then mutation occurs. And because of that only, a enzyme which is not proofreading there is a chance that it will allow more mutations. Okay, because it is not correcting the things. The term mutation refers to the permanent changes in the DNA sequence. Mutations in the germ cells are transmitted to the next progeny and may give rise to inherited diseases. Mutations in some somatic cells are not transmitted to the progeny but are important in the causation of cancers and some congenital malfunctions. Okay, so it is a overall impression about the mutations. Mutation result when changes occur in the nucleotide sequence of DNA. So mutations are at the level of DNA. The term mutation refers to the permanent change in the DNA sequence. Mutation in germ cells are transmitted to the next progeny and may give rise to inherited diseases. And mutations in somatic cells are not transmitted to the progeny but are important in the causation of some cancers and some congenital malfunctions. Okay, I will tell you how and different types of mutations. Causes of mutations. Errors in replication. If a mismatch base pairs is not corrected during proofreading and post-replication repair system, it may be a error there. So during replication, if a mismatch base pair is not corrected during proofreading, then error due to recombination events that I will explain you later on when I will tell you recombination. Spontaneous changes in the DNA. I told you that cytosine is deaminated and we are getting uracil. The spontaneous changes in the DNA, example deamination of cytosine to uracil or spontaneous depurination. Environmental factors like chemical mutagens and irradiations, example UV light or ionizing radiation can alter the structure of DNA. That's why we tell that we should avoid the exposure to the UV and X-rays. Okay. These are the types of mutations. They are of two types: base substitution or point substitution. Point mutation may be transition or transversal type, and that I will be telling you. So we are having two types of mutation. One is base substitution and one is frame shift. Okay. Then in base substitution, we are having a silent mutation. We may be having a missense mutation or a nonsense mutation. And then in missense, we may be having acceptable, partially acceptable, and unacceptable. But in frame shift, we are having two types of mutations: deletion and insertion. Base substitution or point mutation. Point mutation occur when only one base in DNA is altered. Only one base alteration. Suppose cytosine has been changed to uracil by spontaneous, or some X-ray change, or some ultraviolet change. Point mutation occurs when only one base in DNA is altered. Single base change can be of transition type or transversion type. I will explain you. Transition, in which one purine is replaced by another purine, or one pyrimidine is replaced by another pyrimidine. Okay. Transition, if purine is replaced by purine or pyrimidine is replaced by pyrimidine. Transversion, in which purine is replaced by a pyrimidine or pyrimidine is replaced by a purine. Okay, so they are transitions means purine to purine or pyrimidine to pyrimidine. Transversion, purine to pyrimidine or pyrimidine to purine. And single base substitution or point mutation, only one base. Transition, mutation. Okay, it is transition, it is transversion mutation. You will find a purine to pyrimidine, purine to purine. Here, pyrimidine to pyrimidine. Here you will find purine to pyrimidine or pyrimidine to purine. The effect of point mutation can be silent mutation, missense mutation, nonsense mutation. Silent mutation, there is no detectable effect. Right? हो भी गया, पता भी नहीं चला. Leads to the formation of a codon synchronin and no change in the amino acid sequence of the protein occurs. Example, codon changes in the messenger RNA. Codon changes from CCA to CGG. Right? And they are both for the one amino acid, CGA for the arginine and CGG also for the arginine. So here this adenine changed to guanine. But since both are having codons for the arginine, it is known as the silent mutation. It occurs, but it will not make any significant change. Missense mutation. A different amino acid is incorporated in the corresponding site in the protein. Depending upon the location of the mistaken amino acid in the specific protein, missense mutation might be acceptable, partially acceptable, or unacceptable with respect to the function of the protein. Okay. You see acceptable missense mutation. I will explain you. For example, hemoglobin Hikari. This hemoglobin has asparagine substitution for lysine at 61 position in the beta globin chain. Okay. It is a transversion mutation. That lysine has been changed to asparagine. Right? It is acceptable because it is not making any significant change in the beta globin change. Partially acceptable missense mutation in sickle cell disease in sickle hemoglobin, in which normal amino acid is in position number 6 of the beta chain, glutamic acid, and this has been replaced by the valine. Okay, the corresponding transversion might be either GA or GAG of the glutamic acid to GUGA or GUG. This G has been changed to U. So GUA or GUG of valine. So glutamic acid has been changed to valine. When it is in position number 6, it is acceptable. But if it is in some other position, then it is not acceptable. So it is, we can say it is partially acceptable missense mutation. It is altogether a missense mutation in the methemoglobin, in which normal amino acid is in position 58 of alpha chain is histidine. It is replaced by the tyrosine. right? Histidine is a different amino acid, different function, and tyrosine is the aromatic amino acid and having a altogether different function. So after this, the hemoglobin molecule is generated, which cannot transport oxygen. It is unacceptable. The function of hemoglobin is to carry the oxygen, and when we are having such type of change that histidine has been changed to tyrosine, this new hemoglobin formed with the tyrosine cannot carry the oxygen. So we can say it is unacceptable missense mutation. Okay. Nonsense mutation. Nonsense mutations led to the conversion of amino acid codon to a nonsense codon or stop codon. Nonsense mutation caused the premature termination of a polypeptide chain, which is usually non-functional. For example, one type of thalassemia in which codon number 17 of the beta chain is changed from UGG to UGA and result in the conversion of a codon tryptophan to nonsense codon. Okay, so what will happen? A protein with the 17 amino acid has to be made, but if a amino acid has been changed to nonsense mode codon, then a chain of 17 may end in the after the 13 amino acid or 14 amino acid premature termination. So it is nonsense mutations when a amino acid codon has been changed to nonsense codon. Tryptophan to UGA, nonsense codon. Now come to the frame shift mutation. Frame shift mutation occurs when there is insertion or deletion of one or two nucleotides in DNA that generates altered messenger RNA. Frame shift mutation occurs when there is an insertion or deletion of one or two nucleotides in DNA that generate altered messenger RNA. Okay. You see here, it is the normal chain. Here, this U is removed here. U is deleted. And here you will find a change sequence after the one U is deleted here. Or one C is inserted in this, then again you will find a different protein. Methionine, alanine, serine, methionine, alanine, leucine. All together, the further codons will also change and you will find a different type of protein. They are the frame shift mutations. Now come to the translation of protein synthesis. Rajni, how many minutes?
Sir, 2 minute बचे हैं बस.
Okay, so now I should end now. Okay, so thank you very much, and in my next lecture I will be covering this translation or protein biosynthesis. Okay.